Hello and welcome to this is Express News on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy. Let's get you all the day's updates in a quick flash. Starting with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted people of the Indian state of Jharkhand on the foundation day of the Indian state on Wednesday. Thousands of people lined up to greet the Indian Prime Minister while he's been on a two-day visit to Jharkhand, which began on the eve of the Indian tribal freedom fighter Birsa Munda's birth anniversary. Prime Minister Modi released the 15th installment of the PM Kisan scheme from Birsa College Khunti in Jharkhand on the 15th of November, which is today, Wednesday, and it's celebrated as Tribal Pride Day. The 15th installment amount of more than $2.2 billion was released to more than 80 million beneficiaries of India's welfare scheme, which is meant for farmers. Marking the celebrations of the third Tribal Pride Day, the Indian PM also flagged off the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, which aims to cover over 25 million rural and over 3,600 urban local bodies by the 25th of January next year. In his address, Prime Minister Modi said that the Yatra will serve as a strong medium to achieve the government's conservation goals. The Indian PM further praised the state of Jharkhand for becoming a state with 100% electrified railway routes in the country. As assembly elections in the Indian desert state of Rajasthan are around the corner, Prime Minister Modi addressed a public rally in Baitu on Wednesday. During his rally, the PM also interacted with the people. India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal and US Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo met on the sidelines of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework ministerial meeting in San Francisco. India and the US signed a memorandum of understanding on enhancing innovation ecosystems on the sidelines of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework ministerial meeting in San Francisco. The Indian minister and his US counterpart also discussed the growing India-US commercial cooperation and business engagement. The India-US MOU signals a joint commitment to strengthen the startup ecosystem in deep tech sectors and promote cooperation in critical and emerging technologies. A bus accident in India's Jammu and Kashmir has killed at least 30 people. The bus carrying around 40 passengers skidded on the Batod-Kishtawar National Highway in Doordarshan district into a 300-foot gorge. Posting on social media platform X, Prime Minister Modi expressed grief over the loss of lives in the bus accident that took place in Doda. He's announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees, that's 200,000 rupees, to the kin of its victims. In the North Indian state of Uttarakhand, rescue operations have been underway after an under-construction tunnel collapsed, trapping at least 40 workers on Sunday. An escape tunnel has been prepared through the debris and a second auger drilling machine has been brought to the Uttarkashi collapse site. 2 teams of the National Disaster Response Force are also present on the ground. The 2023 edition of the Indo-Pacific Regional Dialogue is being held in Delhi. This year, the focus has been on geopolitical impacts on Indo-Pacific maritime trade and connectivity. Addressing the event, India's Vice President said, as the fastest-growing economy, India seeks a free and peaceful rule-based Indo-Pacific region with open and unrestricted flow of lawful legitimate commerce. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said in her address that the nation is determined to adhere to the principle of leaving no one behind, whether at the national or regional levels. The Indian Finance Minister also added that India's maritime policy is perfectly encapsulated in the acronym SAGAR, which expands to security and growth for all in the region. The Indian market settled in green on Monday. The Sensex jumped 742.06 points to settle at 65,675.93. Nifty as well in the Indian market surged 232 points to 19,675.45. The Indian rupee rose 20 paise to close at 83.13 against the US dollars. Oil prices rose on Wednesday, a day after the International Energy Agency raised its oil demand growth forecast for this year. Brent futures rose 0.2% to $82.67 a barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate crude rose 0.2% as well to $78.28. India's weightage in MSCI's Global Standard Index will move close to 16.3% an all-time high from the current 15.9%, according to the index provider's November review. According to government data released on Wednesday, India's exports surged by 6.21%, reaching $33.57 billion in October this year, compared to $31.6 billion from the previous year. The Indian Ministry of Mines announced it will invite proposals from startups, micro, small and medium enterprises and individual innovators in a bid to promote innovation in the mining, mineral processing, metallurgy and recycling sectors. China's property sales fell at a faster pace in October and investment in real estate slumped, official data showed on Wednesday. UK inflation has recorded a significant decline. Consumer prices saw a rise of 4.6% from the preceding year in October, marking a stark decrease from September's 6.7%. The Israeli military carried out an operation against Hamas in Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital on Wednesday and urged all members of the terrorist group in the hospital to surrender. Poland's parliament held its first session since an election last month. President Andrzej Duda has asked incumbent Prime Minister to form a new government. The 2023 APEC ministerial meeting opened in San Francisco on Wednesday. The meet focused on the aspects of creating a resilient and sustainable future. The presidents of the US and China are set to hold talks on the margins of the APEC summit in San Francisco. It's Xi Jinping's first trip to the US since 2017, and it will be the two leaders' first in-person one-on-one talks since November last year. A regional meeting of defense ministers from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations begins in Jakarta on Wednesday. Countries like the United States, China, Japan and South Korea are participating in the meeting. In his opening address, Indonesia's Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto urged ASEAN members to find a durable solution to the crisis in Myanmar. Sri Lanka's top court has ruled that former President Gotabaya and his brother, former Prime Minister Mahinda, were among government officials whose conduct contributed to the country's worst economic crisis in decades. Sri Lanka's economy collapsed by 7.8% last year, with soaring inflation triggering the worst financial crisis in over 7 decades. Japan's economy has been flat in the July to September quarter after sliding 0.9% in the previous quarter, raising fears of a recession. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that Russia has suffered heavy losses in Avdiivka city. The Ukrainian president also added that the setbacks will affect Moscow's plans in the broader conflict. Taiwan's two main opposition parties agreed to make a decision on a joint presidential ticket for January's elections based on opinion polls. Taiwanese Vice President Lai Ching-te, ruling Democratic Progressive Party's presidential candidate, has almost consistently led opinion polls, leaving candidates of the main opposition to battle for second time. Australian police has arrested 28 people in an operation against one of the most powerful criminal networks in the country's history. The syndicate, busted in Australia, originated from Lebanon. It's alleged to be linked to the movement of over $648 million through firearms, drugs, tobacco and money laundering related offences. In the US, a semi-truck collided with a charter bus near Route 310 in Licking County in Ohio, resulting in 6 deaths and 18 injuries. The charter bus was carrying students from a school in eastern Ohio. Authorities are said to be probing the circumstances behind the collision. In Washington, D.C., tens of thousands of people rallied on Tuesday for a march for Israel to show support in its conflict with the Hamas. Downtown streets were closed for security reasons as a large number of people waving Israeli and U.S. flags gathered to express their solidarity with Israel. Heavy rain in Gaza triggered heavy flooding in the region as well. The residents in Gaza living in makeshift tents struggled to battle the extreme weather. Amid a high danger alert issued by Brazil's Meteorology Institute due to its scorching heat wave, beachgoers in Rio de Janeiro sought respite in the sea. Temperatures soared to 137.3 degrees Fahrenheit, that's over 50 degrees Celsius in Brazil, and locals took precautions against the sweltering sun. US President Joe Biden has announced $6 billion to address climate change from the Inflation Reduction Act amid extreme weather events. The US President said the investment focuses on key climate goals, including modernizing the electric grid to withstand extreme weather such as wildfires. Early snowfalls blanketed many places in the western part of China on Monday. Chinese authorities have issued a yellow weather warning for icy roads to avoid accidents. Air quality in the Indian capital city Delhi continues to be in the severe category, according to the Central Pollution Control Board. The residents of India's capital struggled to breathe as toxic haze engulfed and covered up the entire region on Wednesday. Medical staff in a Peruvian hospital successfully removed a crucifix stuck in the esophagus of a 10-month-old child after she had accidentally swallowed the object. Vietnam has issued a plan to execute a green port pilot project in certain seaports to maintain its green energy network and enhance commitment to sustainability. The port is a specialized facility for liquefied natural gas production and is incorporating modern technology in energy use management, resulting in a 20% reduction in monthly electricity consumption. Several high-tech nurseries have been set up by the Horticulture Department in the northern Indian city of Rajouri in Jammu and Kashmir. Grafting technique is being used to grow several plants in that nursery. Web Summit, Europe's largest technology conference, is underway in the Portugal capital, Lisbon. Tens of thousands have descended on the capital city to attend the annual event. Japanese automaker Toyota is pushing for hybrid technology with the next generation of Toyota Camry, the best-selling sedan in the US market. The 2025 Camry will come with only a gas-electric hybrid powertrain and combine a 2.5-liter gasoline engine with an electric drive system. Tech giants Microsoft and Google are not challenging the European Union's decision to roll out new rules for the so-called gatekeeper services run by 6 of the world's biggest tech companies. EU law Digital Markets Act requires these gatekeepers to interoperate their messaging apps with computers and allow users to decide which apps they pre-install on their devices. Meta-owned social media platform Instagram has released a new feature which allows users to share posts and reels with people on their close friends list. British coin maker the Royal Mint has unveiled a new range of collectible and bullion coins to celebrate 60 years of the James Bond series. Each design is featuring an iconic scene from each decade of the Bond-verse. London's Royal Botanical Gardens debuted its annual Christmas lights show, kicking off the festive season from Wednesday till the 7th of January next year. The 22nd annual Christmas at the Grove in Los Angeles delighted visitors with fake snow, Santa Claus, and the illumination of a 100-foot white fir Christmas tree. Britain's King Charles celebrated his 75th birthday on Tuesday and used the occasion to kickstart a new scheme, the Coronation Food Project, to try to stop people going hungry. King Charles also hosted a reception extending a welcome to 400 nurses and midwives from various countries including India, acknowledging and commending their contributions. Paris is set to host Christie's annual exceptional sale on the 21st of November, featuring a 68 million-year-old dinosaur head nicknamed Baby Jane. Turkish departmental store Beymen is marking its 50th anniversary with a Golden Opulence exhibition which celebrates the history of luxury in Turkey and the Ottoman Empire. 15 major Chinese cities are set to replace over 600,000 public service fleets with electric vehicles. The project is expected to be completed within 2 years. Western Japan's Ehime Prefecture tile producers are busy in crafting small ornamental dragons, Kikumagawara, as the dragon is next year's Chinese zodiac sign. Families with young children flock to Zenkoji Temple in Nagano City in Japan to celebrate Shichigo-san on Wednesday. Boys aged 3 to 5 and girls between 3 to 7 years customarily visit the temple to pray for their own growth. Indian film Sana, starring Radhika Madan and Pooja Bhatt, is set to premiere at the 54th International Film Festival of India under the Indian Panorama category on the 23rd of November in Goa. Bollywood action thriller Tiger 3, starring Salman Khan and Katrina Kaif, has grossed nearly $29 million at the global box office on the third day of its release. Indian actor Naga Chaitanya's Telugu language debut series Doota is set to release on Amazon Prime Video on the 1st of next month. American action film The Fall Guy, starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, has pushed its release date from the initial 1st of March to the 3rd of May next year. Netflix has released the trailer for animated miniseries Pokemon Concierge, which is set to release globally on the 28th of December this year. American sitcom Big Bang Theory spin-off Young Sheldon is set to end with its 7th season, which will premiere in February next year. The cast of upcoming thriller drama Saltburn, including producer of the film Margot Robbie and director Emerald Fennell, walked the red carpet for the premiere of the film in Los Angeles. The cast of the upcoming film The Hunger Games: The Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes attended a special fan event screening of the prequel to the Hunger Games franchise at the TCL Chinese Theatre in Los Angeles. English filmmaker Ridley Scott and lead actors Joaquin Phoenix and Vanessa Kirby walked the red carpet at the premiere of the new film Napoleon in Paris. Excuse me. Korean pop group 17 performed and spoke at the UNESCO Youth Forum being held at UNESCO's Paris headquarters. Indian skipper Rohit Sharma became the first batter to hit 50 sixes in ODI World Cup history during the semi-final match against New Zealand at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai on Wednesday. Indian batter Virat Kohli broke Sachin Tendulkar's record of most ODI centuries. Kohli scored his 50th ODI ton, breaking Sachin Tendulkar's record of 49 ODI tons. And Virat Kohli also broke Sachin Tendulkar's record of most runs scored in a single edition of the Cricket World Cup. Reacting to Kohli's feat, Tendulkar wrote on social media X that he couldn't be happier that an Indian broke his record for most centuries in cricket. South Africa are taking on Australia in the second semi-final at the Eden Gardens on Thursday. The Proteas have been one of the strongest contenders and are coming with 7 wins from the league stage, with the only losses coming against India and the Netherlands. Amid the pitch controversy surrounding the World Cup semi-final, Australian skipper Pat Cummins on Wednesday said they have faith in ICC and his team has not faced any issues so far in the ongoing tournament. Novak Djokovic's winning streak was halted at 19 matches as home favourite Jannik Sinner rode to a superb 7-5, 6-7, 7-6 victory in front of a partisan ATP Finals crowd on Tuesday. Argentina's soccer team is gearing up ahead of their World Cup qualifier against Uruguay, scheduled to take place on Thursday. Longtime Chelsea manager Emma Hayes has been named as head coach of the United States women's national soccer team, tasked with righting the ship after the country's most disappointing Women's World Cup campaign. And that's all we have this moment in this edition of Express News. For all the latest, keep watching DD India.